So I don't want to spend any more of your time. Let me invite here to the stage lead software engineer at EPAM, Przemyslaw Jakubowski. Przemyslaw, hi, welcome to Java On.
Hello, Roma. Nice to see you here, and welcome to you all, guys.
Thank you, and it's really nice to having you on the conference. So, yeah, I see that you already shared your screen, and we will show it shortly, guys. I remind you, I remember all of you. I remember all of you who are watching us, and I want to remind you that you can leave your questions on a YouTube chat and also on the chat on the platform. I try to monitor all of them. Right now, I have opened 5 chats, so I pick up all the questions from all the chats for all the days. Yeah, and please leave your questions, and I will ask all these questions in the end of the talk. So I think we will not spend any more time. Stage is yours. Good luck. Let's go.
Thank you, Roma. And let's jump into my topic. So you can't use AI directly in Java. Hold my prompt, and I prepared special background for it. And you might see that those are fighting. I would say they are playing paper scissors, and I will show you that in fact Java can cooperate with AI already. Like, we are not left behind. So this presentation will be a bit a follow-up to the one which was already delivered here. The previous one was a bit more theoretical, and this one will be much more into the code. I want to start with a small disclaimer. So I'm not AI developer. I'm having fun with AI in development. So I will show you how it can be used in Java directly. So who I am? I'm Przemyslaw Jakubowski. I'm lead software engineer here, and I'm also working in Java Poland community. If you want to join us during online or offline meetings, feel free to scan the QR code, and you would be able to join our future events. But jumping to the topic. So when you're trying to develop something in Java using an AI, you might feel like this girl when she's trying to find something about AI in Java, or maybe like this free-handed lady who is trying to achieve the same thing. Basically, you shouldn't. All of the examples which I have, they are taken from the docs of the providers which give us some stuff which can be used in Java. But the feeling which you might have is that, for sure, when you're trying to find something about usage of AI, you will be faced with the Python courses or Python libraries or stuff like this. And I asked the AI, because that's my source of truth during this presentation, why is that? Why Python is so often used, and we are, as Java developers, feeling like left behind? And the answer was that the Python is more flexible. And it hurt my feelings because we have the var keyword. So we are flexible as well. So I will try to prove that we are not left behind. Let's go with first example. So what I'm doing here, I created a simple ChatGPT client. I create a URL connection, set the correct request method, then set the properties, and I want to get a joke from ChatGPT. And here you see I have a prompt which will be provided. That's just to tell me a joke. And you see the body, pretty easy. Model taken from here, message, role, user, content, and here we have our joke. And then I will be parsing the output and printing the message. Let's run this stuff and check how it will behave. Okay, so we have some response. Again, really easy to read by a human. ID, object, created, model, choices, index, message, role. Yeah, here we have a content. Why do Java developers wear glasses? Because they can't see sharp. That's great joke. We will get more like those during this presentation. But now you might be feeling like those people. I will joke to you. Basically, what I've done in this code is something which can be achieved not only without Java, it can be achieved without any programming language. You can send a curl command with all of this stuff which I used here and get the same output. So using this example, I proved you that you can use it in Java, but I think that's not why you are here. So let's jump into real example, like what is really available in Java. So the first provider is Google. They provide the Vertex AI. They call it JDK. Okay, let them call it that way. And what I will do here, you see, I have a Vertex AI created using the project ID and the location. Then I'm creating a model using the Vertex AI. I created this chat session using the model. I created again the same prompt, tell me a joke. And here I have a joke question. I will just print it to you to see, so you can see what will be sent to the model. And then using the chat session, I will send a message to the model to get the response. And then I will print the response. Let's try to run it. Tell me a joke about Java. Why was the Java developer always broke? Because he didn't understand the difference between a byte and a bit. Great joke again. But here you can see that there is no parsing done like in the previous example. There is no JSON response in the console. So we have access to the AI model using Java methods only. But that's sending something and getting back the response. Let's do something more. So you see now I will send 3 prompts. The first one will be hello. I will get the response. Then I will ask what are the most popular programming languages. And then at the end, I will ask why the first one is the best. Let's try to run it and see the out. So we have a hello. It's nice to meet you. That's nice. What are the most popular programming languages? That's the question which I asked. And you see we got a list of the responses, and we have a Python, Java, and so on. And here we got a question from me, why the first one is the best. And you see that it responds with choosing the best programming language depends entirely on your, and so on. The message itself is not that important. What is important is that you see this question, why the first one is the best, is quite a general one. So there is no context in this particular question. But because I asked the first question, what are the most popular programming languages, it responds me in the context of the previous question. So why the first one is the best. And you can check the Java code that there is no context keeping done on my side. So I have that chat session, but I'm not saying anywhere like save the context, or I'm not grabbing the history and putting it back in the request. It's done thanks to the chat session. So that's nice. We don't have to store the context of the conversation, or not even the context, but the history of the conversation. We can just use the chat session and send messages all the way. And let's go further. I have now the Vertex AI in use, so still Google stuff. And now I will do some user input. And what I will do is I will write, let's say, hello in Polish. Cześć, jak się masz? So basically that's hello, how are you doing? And what I was asking Gemini in the next step was, what was the language in which user communicates with you in the previous question? So you see, I got the prompt in Polish, I got the answer in Polish, but then I got the, let's say, metadata, because that's the data about the question from the user. So you see, it's what was the language in which user communicates with you in the previous question. And I got the answer that the user communicates in Polish. You see, we can have our program, our application to get the info about the question about the prompts which user provides. So that's a big advantage, because we can interact not only with the prompts which user provides, but also in with the context in which user operates. Let's go further. Here, most of you, I guess, use the ChatGPT or Gemini using the web page, so using the user interface. So let's try to fake it here. I will run it, and I got a prompt: ask your first question to AI. That's hard coded, and I will ask, what are the colors in the rainbow? And you see, I got the list of the colors, but I will ask a follow-up question: why red is first? And let's wait for the answer. And you see, again, I have the same feature. So I got the answer about the colors in the rainbow, and then I asked why red is first. Again, it's quite a generic question. It might be about the car in the race. And here I got the response in the context of the rainbow. So you see, red is traditionally listed as the first color in the rainbow because of its long wavelength. So we have the context here kept using just Java methods. Now I will follow with Let's Do Everything framework. Let me just change the screen which I'm sharing. Yep, and I have a simple application here. I guess most of you already, for sure, you are familiar with the stuff which is going on right now on the screen. You see, I created something which is called Chat Client, and that one comes from Spring Framework. And what I will be doing here is something similar to to the stuff which was done before. I will be sending some prompts, but those prompts would be generated based on the path variable here, and you can see that I'm using localhost 8080, and I'm using this controller for a joke, and then I got a path variable with a subject. So you see, I run it with a car, and my joke is, why did the car get a ticket? Because it couldn't stop breaking the law. Nice one again. Let's check how this one will behave with Java. Why do Java developers wear glasses? Because they don't see sharp. Again, the same stuff. But that the output is not the thing which I want you to focus on. The thing which I want you to show is that we got the chat client, and it can use a prompt with basically a template. You see, I have this prompt string, and this prompt string is tell a joke about, and we have a subject here. And I can use that subject to be changed to, in my case, the subject which is provided here as a path variable. And you were able to see that I use the endpoint with a joke Java, and it returns me with this stuff. But when it was a car here, it gave me the different answer. And this time I got another one. Why did the scarecrow become a great car salesman? Because he was outstanding in his field. And of course, that's just scratching the surface of Spring. I provide you with this this link. You can check what's available in Spring. And my rest of my presentation will not focus on Spring. I will be using LangChain4j, but keep in mind that using LangChain4j is also the features which LangChain4j provides. They are also available in Spring in most cases, just having some different ways of using this stuff. So let me go back to my previous IDE, and I will show you something which is called LangChain4j. And why the LangChain4j was introduced? You might already heard about it from one of our previous speakers, but what I see is that you want to be independent on the model. So imagine the situation that you will get, sorry, you will get a huge price increase for, let's say, ChatGPT. And you want to keep all of your code unchanged. You just want to switch to another tool, another model. So that the Vertex AI, so Google provides with libraries, but if you would want to change, you would have to change the ways of calling the model. The model. Basically, you might think that you can extract this as an abstraction and just change one place, but still it might be a lot of work. So how to do the model change using LangChain4j? You see, here I'm using ChatGPT 4.0, and now I'm using Gemini, and that's it. I changed the model, which is behind my which is queried behind. It's queried by my application, just by using different way of creating that chat language model object. But that's not all what LangChain4j provides. This LangChain is like a project, and 4j, it means for Java. What I want to show you here is something which is called AI services. And that AI services is able to create a specific class. And here you see I have an interface, and it has an annotation. And the annotation says, is it positive? And this it in braces will be replaced by the text which will be provided here. What I will do with it, I call it sentiment analyzer, and I call the method is positive based on the user opinion. And that user opinion I'm just getting from the console. And now I will check if it's positive or it's not so positive. And I will ask a model to generate the nice message to the user to communicate how would you say that you are glad that user likes the joke, provide the text of message only, and otherwise, how would you say that you are sorry for providing not so funny joke, provide the text of the message only. So you see this part is like small profiling done to do not get the part like, of course, here you have the your message to the user on saying how to say sorry or stuff like this. But you might miss the one thing here when I was saying that. And the thing here is that. So you see, I created a sentiment analyzer, and I will use method which returns a boolean. So this one basically returns a Java primitive. And that's something which is like a real connection between Java and AI. So from the call to the model, I will get a boolean. Let's try to run it if I'm not just faking that it works. So let's check and let's see how it works. And you see, I asked to get a joke, and you see, why did the Java developer wear glasses? Because they couldn't see sharp. Did you find the joke funny? No. Debug false. Of course, this one won't be presented to the user. I'm just showing it to you to let you know how this data was processed. And you see, I got a message. I'm sorry if my joke missed the mark. I will try to do better next time. That's quite a nice message to be provided to the user. And we can generate it. You see, this message is not hard coded. This message comes from this prompt. So the message was the information which was presented to the user comes from the model itself. Let's go further with LangChain 4j. That was in the previous example, I extracted the Boolean. So not so complicated stuff. But what I will do now, you see, I have AI services used again, and I will create a person extractor. And what it does, I got user message with information, extract information about the person from it. And I will provide a text here. And I have this extract person from method. And what I will get is a person. Let's check what this one is. And that's just a regular Java class. It has a name, it has a surname, it has a list of string with a personality attributes, and it has a list of strings with appearance attributes. And you see, I just created a bit different than usual toString method to show you what it generate. Let's try to run it. And why it will be running, let's check what I have here. And what I have here is a description of 2 characters. And the first one is Frodo Baggins, is a central character in a J.R.R. Tolkien's epic fantasy novel, The Lord of the Rings. He's a hobbit, small humanoid creature with curly hair. So you see that's some appearance. And here, love for simple, quiet life. So let's say characteristic. And what was generated based on it? You see, I have a Frodo description, and then I'm using the person extractor to extract person from Frodo description. And that one returns me a person class. Let's check how the toString looks like. You see, I have person with a name, photo, with a surname Baggins, with a personality description, kind-hearted, selfless, courageous, resilient, with appearance description, small humanoid, curly hair, slightly pointed ears, and so on. So it was able to differentiate between the personality description and the appearance description. And the second character is, I would say, a bit more complex because I have a Vader description. By the way, both of those descriptions were also generated by ChatGPT to make it even more AI-based presentation. So you see, it's a Lord Vader, also known as a Darth Vader, is a central character in the Star Wars franchise, clad in imposing black armor and a mask that conceals his identity. Initially a heroic Jedi Knight named Anakin Skywalker, he falls on the dark side, and so on, so on. I guess you know the story. Let's check what it was able to get from it. And you see that that person was extracted to the object, which says that description was extracted to the person object with a name, Anakin, and surname, Skywalker. That's, at least for me, that's interesting because you see the Lord Vader, also known as a Darth Vader. So you got at least two names here. And on the third line, you got that his real name. And it was able to get the correct data here. And we have a personality description. It's heroic, falls to the dark side, Sith Lord, commanding, fearsome, and appearance description, imposing black armor, mask that conceals his identity, deep modulated voice, heavy mechanical breathing, red lightsaber. That's, I would say, impressive what it was able to do. But it's not only impressive because it gets some data from text. It's impressive because this text is unstructured. Like, we don't have any template behind it. That's just a description. I don't see any like following parts here. Like, let's go with a description of the personality, then description of the of the a characteristic, and so on. And there is no template. Like, it's not a JSON, it's just plain text. And you might already feel what it can done. This text is hard-coded here, but it doesn't have to be a case. You can use just some PDF here, which is red. You can use some picture, or which can be OCR. You can use a medical claim, which doesn't have any format. You can use anything from which you can try to extract the information. For sure, you have to think about the hallucination, and you have to think about some checking if everything is correct. But that's something which I would say the most important part of that presentation. Okay, so let's do something big with it. I was inspired by this this webpage. It's cargpt.ai. Unfortunately, as it's a live demo, it doesn't work today, like right now. It starts, but it doesn't provide the answer. But what it does, it is an AI-based car recommender. And based on your preferences, it is trying to give you a recommendation of a car or cars which you might want to buy. And I will try to write a backend for a page like this. So I have a car preference object, which where I will get a budget, car type, fuel type, brands, additional features. And how I will extract the data, how I will get the data from the user. So I will use, in this case, LangChain4j and GPT-4o behind the scenes. How I'll be doing it. I won't be using any hard-coded messages. All of the stuff would be generated by the ChatGPT. So at the beginning, some profiling. So model generate, you should act as a car recommender, be very polite in answering questions. Then I will create some opening message. So I will welcome a user. And you see the prompt, create welcome message, in which you describe to client that you are AI car recommender chat assistant and that you will ask questions to get client's preferences. Don't ask any questions in this message. Return the welcome message only without any additional signs. I will print it. Then I will get a budget. And as I showed you before, I will use this AI services to create a budget extractor. And this budget extractor just get an int from the text which I will provide to it. Then I will get a card type, and the card type extractor will just return a string. Then I will get a fuel type using the fuel type extractor. And here, this one is interesting. You see the fuel type is just is Java enum. I'm not claiming that everything is here, but I just asked ChatGPT to get me fuel types which are currently used in the course. Here you have the list. Then what's interesting is that it will be able, hopefully, it will be able to get the enum value from the message which will be provided as a response from the model. Then I will get brands, and you see the brand extractor returns a list of string. So again, different type which we want to get from the model. Then I will get features, and I have this feature extractor, and again, I will get I want to get a list of strings. Then I will print the completion. So I will tell the user, how would you, I will tell the model, how would you inform client that we gather all needed information, return the information only without any additional signs. And sorry, going back for a second to other questions, what I want to show you is that, again, there is no hard-coded stuff presented to the user. Like when I'm creating a budget question, I'm getting the message from the model. So how would you ask, what is client's budget for buying car in dollars? Return the question only without any additional signs. You see, again, like in the budget question or in the car type, I want to get the text only without any additional signs. And here, when I want the model to ask user for a car type, I'm saying, how would you congratulate the client for choosing the budget? So reference to the previous question, and ask what type of car client prefers. Same profiling. Fuel type, how would you congratulate the client for choosing the car type? And ask what type of fuel client wants to use in a car. And here, again, some profiling. Type is important here. So you see, you can profile it while querying the model. Brands, same story. And features, same story. Okay, let's try to run it. And when I will be running it, you will see some debug prints. Of course, those shouldn't be presented to the users, that's just for showing you the stuff which is returned by the model. So you see, welcome to our AI car recommender chat assistance. I'm here to help you find the perfect car that matches your needs and preferences. Throughout our chat, I will ask some questions to better understand what you are looking for, allowing me to provide personalized recommendation just for you. Let's embark on this journey together and find your ideal car. I would say that's like really decent message to be presented to the user from our application. What is your budget for buying a car in dollars? Let's say 20,000. Oh, and it's nice to see from this basically a string, it was able to get that int, which is precisely 20,000. Congratulations on finalizing your budget. We are thrilled to assist you in finding the perfect car. Could you please let us know what type of car do you prefer? And I will say sedan. Okay, you see the debug. Sedan refers to a car type that is simply defined as a sedan or saloon in some countries. So that won't be presented to the user, but basically it understands what we want. Congratulations on choosing such a fantastic car type. Could you please let us know what type of fuel you prefer to use in your car? And you see here, our profiling works perfectly because we got that message about the car type, and here we got a message about finalizing on our budget. So now, fuel type. I want to have an electric car, and you see I made a spelling mistake. It's electric, but still it was able to get the correct value, and that one is the enum value. So that's pretty impressive that we can translate from the from the model output to the Java object. What brands of car are you considering? And let's say it's Volvo and Fiat. See, I got a list. I got a list of 2 items with Volvo and Fiat. What additional car features would you like? So I want air conditioning, but I will write it as AC. So let's give the field to understand what I need. And I want to have blind spot monitoring. And you see here I have my car preference object. A car type is quite long, fuel type, brands, and we have our recommendations. And you see I got a Fiat 500e recommended, Volvo S60 used. You see, that's nice because we set the price, so it already suggested that we should focus on the used cars because the new one might be too expensive. Fiat Panda, electric, Volvo C40, and so on. Now I got a question. Would you like me to provide more recommendation? Let's say yes. Debug false. So here you have a hallucination. So it wasn't able to understand that we want to get more recommendation. Should we start a new recommendation process? Yes, please. No, sorry, that's it. And we got like a simple hallucination, but the whole example was like a real one, the correct usage of the program which I have here. Let's have fun with it. Let's run it again. And let's do something which every tester would do, and for sure our users would do the same. What is your budget for buying a color in dollars? Say 20K. We don't have to be really precise in the number. And you see, for some reason, it interpreted like 20,207. Why not? Hallucination. Congratulations on finalizing your budget choice. Could you please let us know what type of car you prefer? Of course, I prefer to have a Starship. And you see the debug prints. It seems like there is confusion in your request. Starship typically refers to spacecraft from science fiction or space exploration context, whereas car type and so on. So that's important. It understands that it's some messed up data, but we don't have any guards on it in our application. So moving forward, congratulations on choosing the perfect car type. Of course, Spaceship is a really nice car. Could you please let us know what type of fuel would you like to use in your car? Spaceship runs on Stardust, of course. And that's gasoline. Why not? Why not? What brands of car are you considering? And I'm considering SpaceX. And You see, SpaceX is primarily an aerospace manufacturer, but I got a debug. Tesla. That's close. That's close. What additional car features would you like? That's a Starship. So I want to have openable windows and also place for kids. Let's see. We have gathered all needed information. That's nice. What we can use to go into space? Of course, we can go into space with a Honda Civic. Of course, we can go into space with Toyota Corolla, no problem. We can go with a Hyundai Elantra, Kia Forte, Nissan Sentra. So you see, you can go into space with, let's say, some not so expensive cars. Okay, and what I want to show you next is that in most of the cases, I've been using models like GPT-4o, 3.5, and so on. You might wonder why I haven't used the newest releases, so O1. And you see, that's the pricing, which I got from their website. I got it like 2 weeks ago, so maybe it has changed. You would have to check it. But the price itself, it's not that a big issue. You see, we have this O1 preview and we have this star. And this star means is this model behaves a bit differently. This model, like when you're using the GPT-4o and the models which were there before, you send a prompt, you get the response. That's it. With O1 preview, you send the prompt, you got the response. That response is again sent to the model to interpret if that's the correct answer. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any information if or how those are different from your regular prompts. And you see that I've been paying for each request which you saw during this presentation. And I don't want to get into a situation that during the presentation I will reach the thresholds which I set there, or if I have forgotten about it, reach the level that my account will be wiped out. So that's why I wasn't using the newest possible version. And what you were able to see here was just a simple HTTP-based connection. Then I went through the Vertex AI from Google, then just scratch the surface of the Spring AI and do some fun with LangChain4j. What you might want to check as well is the semantic kernel from Microsoft, but as it was shared during previous presentation, it's not so Java oriented. So I wasn't spending time on this one. I prefer to go a bit deeper in this stuff. And with it, I want to thank you. And here you can see the contact. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask it.
So thank you very much for this talk. About talks like that, I always think that people will come back to them because my flow is generally I see this talk, I feel about them really inspiring because you can see the real use cases, and then okay, you decided that you want to try it and you just start rewatching this talk then with a lot of pauses just to see how to really prevent it. So thank you very much, really insightful and really in deep check of AI libraries. So guys, you asked for that, here you go. Okay, so we do have some questions. So first one is, yeah, thanks for the presentation. Could you elaborate a bit on limitations of the, let's say, size of the context which is stored during the conversation with the AI model? Is it
Mhm,
limited in general? And if so, is it measured in messages, bytes, tokens, minutes of the conversation duration, etc.?
mhm. Yeah, I was trying to find this information, and the only information which I found is that it is limited based on the tokens, and there is. I don't want to say that there is no limitation in time, but I haven't found any information about it. So your limitation is tokens, and that that value depends on the model as well. So I cannot say any like precise number because it depends. Also, you can optimize your application that if you would reach the level where you have a token limit, you can get a history so that those libraries which I showed you have methods with which will allow you to get a history, and with that object basically you can send it to the model and says like try to squeeze it or get the general idea from the messages which were presented here. In that way you can get out of the limitations for the tokens.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So I saw we had some question, but it's disappeared by some reason. So okay, so yeah, maybe just a quick question from my side. So uh, did I get it right? Use LangChain for Jade, right? For this demo.
Mhm.
So before you, like one to before, we have another speaker, Danila, and he shared like there is multiple libraries which you can use for communicating with AI. So question is, have you tried other libraries, and what is your opinion on them? Or we can basically solve everything with LangChain for Jade.
Mm. Yeah, I went through the LangChain 4J, but also through the Vertex AI, which is provided by Google. That you can say that it's also another library or set of libraries. And I showed you how to use it in Spring. Basically, again, different type. But my general maybe yeah, let's say approach is that you have to fit it to your needs or to your client needs. And as you saw, you can achieve similar stuff using Spring as with a LangChain 4J, but you don't have to have a Spring in place. So if your application doesn't use Spring, why to throw all of the stuff connected with it into your application? Why you can only use the LangChain 4J, or you can go even further, because let's say you're using LangChain 4J, but it's really important for you to know what in fact is sent and what in fact is the response. And that's not the case in the matter of LangChain 4J. There is some magic, some parsing done behind the scenes. So from the model response, I got a Boolean. How was it done? No idea. So if that part is really important for you, it might be surprising, but you might want to use just a simple chat client, the one which I showed you as the first one, which is like, it just returns you a JSON, but it's not hard to parse a JSON, right? So you might want to use different solution like this one, as simple as possible depending on your needs.
Oh, okay. Yep. Thanks for the answer. So I can just maybe add here that, for example, LangChain4j is an open source tool.
Yeah.
I also contributed in it. I think I added some model, but anyway, so you can if you don't have some functionality which you need, you can just go and add it.
Yeah, yeah.
so so you can be the part of the community, and most of the tools, even Spring is also open source, so you can be the part of the community. If something is missed, something feels for you like, not in place, or you feel something like some bumpy, you can be the one who would change it for others. So I would even encourage you to be to be this person.
Yeah,
who
when I was preparing this presentation, I contacted the guys from LangChain4j because I found the bug, and
yeah.
and they were able to fix it. So that's open community. That's really nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I fully
just
agree with your comment, Roma.
you remind me the story. So back 4 years back ago, from this moment, I was preparing the talk also on how to integrate with so there is ORM, which is connect to like Hibernate is ORM, but also there is another object. So it's object, whatever. So it's alternative to ORM to connect to
Mhm.
non-relational databases.
Uh-huh.
So, and I prepared the talk about that, how to connect Spring Data to that, and I found a bug in Spring
Mhm.
Data 2.0, I think, that yeah, it wasn't able to connect normally to Apache Ignite in this case. So yeah, I spent, I think, like quite a lot of time to fix this bug, to submit this PR, but yeah, it works. So
Yeah,
guys, if you like, this is another point of like preparing talks for the conferences. You can find some bug in some framework and fix it.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
ask
okay.
someone to fix it.
Well, you can fix it by yourself or ask someone to
Yeah.
fix it. Yeah, depends on your time. Yeah. Okay. So I think the last question which we have. So question from Marco. As far as I know, LangChain is more LLM oriented. Is there a library in Java that can be used for training, like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Python?
Yeah, that's what I said. Or maybe I want to share one more thing. Sorry, and
Okay.
which maybe I missed during the presentation on that's it's not a slide on in this class. See, here is the I took it from the LangChain4j page, and that's the stuff which they say they support. I'm not like promising you that they support it. That's what they say that they are supporting. So you see, it's not even a single models. It's like group or families of models. And my answer to the question is that I won't be able to answer it. Sorry. As I told you, I'm playing with it. Uh, I wasn't. The purpose of this presentation wasn't to train any model. The purpose was to use it in Java. So if
Okay.
you like training the model, I would say it's completely different topic, and it needs a lot of time and a lot of resources, from which the presentation will be short.
So, but basically, you answered another question which we have in chat. Do the libraries allow to use some custom models, for example, running locally? So basically, you
Mhm.
answer this question. The list of using libraries is quite huge one, and
Yeah,
Olama, for example, is there. So you
yeah,
you can
yeah,
use
yeah.
it freely. Okay, so I think we finished with questions. So I want to say thank you very much one more time. Thank you for your talk. Really practical and inspirational one. Saying thank you very much. Thanks for being on Javon. It was a pleasure having you with us here.
Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.